of Facebook. I am Kara, the blonde unicorn, and welcome to episode 16 of Ladies and Tabletop. And I am joined tonight with Fertessa. I couldn't remember what episode it was. So episode 16. Fertessa was on previously when we did show and tell, and I introduced the world to my obsession with Into the Echo Side. It's great. And now today we're going to do a little one-on-one action because it's delightful. So we're gonna hang out and wait for people to jump on, and I'm gonna share it, and it'll be great.
Yes.
Welcome to Saturday, June 27th of 2020, everyone. I don't know what's happened to June. It's gone by real fast.
It has.
I was talking about this at work today. So one of my coworkers and I, we both worked through all of COVID quarantine, and I was like, man, you remember when it felt like just yesterday when everyone was gone and we all walked into the work and we were like, this is weird, and now they're all back and it's like over halfway through the year? It was a very bizarre conversation to have. and yeah.
Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Okay, is it Rachel today or Nebraska today? We need to know. Wondering minds need to know.
Nebraska's new to me.
Yeah, so she's doing I forgot it's a treasure hunt. Oh, the Unexpected Treasure Hunt of 2020. I didn't really think about that title. And her twin, Nebraska, was on last night to tell us about it. It was great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but also saying Nebraska Blasky a lot is really fun.
Yes, that is. I love that.
Nebraska Blasky. Hi, Dan! Oh, she is quite Rachel-y today.
Well, nice to see you again, Rachel.
Yes, I love it. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. So, Fertessa, please introduce yourself to the world.
Hello, my name is Fertessa Allyse, and I am a game designer in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've created Wicked and Wise and Book of Villainy, and I'm co-designing a party game called Mansplaining with Mondo Davis. And
that sounds so delightful. Great title. Oh my goodness.
It's really fun.
We have to dedicate a full half hour to mansplaining because the title's great. I just need to know about it. I'm tired of getting stuff mansplained to me. This is great.
I think you would love it. And I write for a girls' game show. That's me.
You're so busy. You're so busy in the gaming world. So question for you. One, I love that you live in Atlanta. I was just in Georgia. Georgia's delightful. I have a full-on obsession with Spanish moss.
Yeah.
And I need to figure out how to get that in Ohio.
You have to uproot all of Savannah and just transport it to Ohio.
Yeah, it was quite lovely. I loved every moment. It was great. So anyways, so you're doing so much stuff in the gaming world. Is that your full-time gig? Or do you have something else that you do?
No, I'm actually a purchasing assistant for a watch company, and I basically do the quality control for watches as my day job right now. And
I love talking to people because everyone has the most interesting jobs, and I'm like, what does that mean?
So we deal with high-end watches, and basically if it's a Rolex or something, get it in there, and I have to kind of physically handle it, test it, see what the serial number is, and identify what the model of the watch is, and try and verify that it's authentic. And then I just shoot it to the next place it goes in the pipeline in my company to the watchmakers or the technicians, depending on what kind of work the watch needs. So
that is very fancy. It's very fancy. That's cool. Okay, probably by far the coolest job that I've come across so far. So Rachel, it's okay if you have to run. We love you regardless. And Van said that he has been following you on BGG because of Book of Villainy, which is pretty cool. So Book of Villainy, was that the first game that you designed back in 2017?
Yes. Book of Villainy
Okay.
is my very first game, and it should be coming up 2021.
Ooh, is that when it will be going to Kickstarter?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What? That's cool. How long have you been working on this game?
It's just at 2 years because I believe actually I started working on it in August of 2018.
Okay.
Does the thread say 2017?
It says August of 2017, but you know
Oh,
what? The internet is a
2017.
weird place and that could totally be wrong.
No, that's like I made that diary within a couple of weeks of deciding to make it. So yeah, then 2017, time has flown. I've missed an entire year.
Right?
I,
But I'm looking at your updated on June 8th of 2020 board prototype. I love these pictures.
it's come a long
The
way.
like the manipulator. Oh my goodness, this lady.
Thank you.
She is just well. One, I love the filigree, but like that picture, she is delightful.
Yes, I thought to
I,
myself, who would be perfect for that? An old lady, a sweet old lady with a cat trying to escape her arms.
right? Oops, sorry. So this is what I'm looking at. This I don't know if you guys can see the little mousy moving around, but she is like adorable. I mean, she's just so cute. I could see that she would be a manipulator, but she's just so cute.
She is.
Oh
You
my goodness.
see her little quote?
Wouldn't be more proud, but I can't read the rest of it.
Oh, I couldn't be more proud of how much you're dedicated to disappointing me, I believe is the.
Oh my goodness, that is so fantastic. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Okay, so tell me about this game because that's delightful and I'm loving the pictures.
So in Book of Villainy, you're a villain but not very good at it, so you're making a book about being a villain instead. And as the player, you are collecting these pages for your book. And we actually have physical little books that you can slide the pages, which are cards,
Oh, that's so
into.
delightful. Oh, what a great idea. How did you come up with that?
um, it over the evolution of the game, that really was one thing I wanted to actually have it be a book. And like in the last couple of months, I finally found a book, a tiny wallet-sized book, small enough that I could actually do that, and it worked out really well.
Oh, I love it. Hello, Brian. Hello, Chad.
Hello.
Hi, Hank Hill. That's Brian
Yes.
being a weirdo. That's awesome. I love it. So you've been working on it for a while now, and it's getting ready to go to Kickstarter. Will you be publishing it yourself?
Oh no, I'm having it published with Gold Seal Games, and
Okay.
headed by Andrew, and he is also based in Atlanta.
Awesome. So did you do all your own artwork, or did you have to get an artist? And are
Um,
they also in Atlanta? Because that'd be really fun.
I
Like
did
the whole
the,
team's in Atlanta.
I did all the drawings and that you see in front of you, but that's not going to be in the game. We're getting an artist who is hopefully in Atlanta. We're negotiating with one right now, but
Why would they want to not use your art? The little old lady is delightful. Okay, we're gonna show in stream. Look at how cute this art is awesome. This little old lady and little bully, like that's awesome pulling out. Looks like he's doing the loser elf finger.
yeah.
And look at this fella over here. Hopefully it pops up in the live stream. I recently learned how to do that.
It's showing. It's showing.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, I recently learned how to do this. I don't really know.
So yeah, the artist that we are talking to, if he comes on, he's really good at taking what I do and punching it all the way up. So
Oh, sweet.
he's actually the one that encouraged me to keep drawing. So I would hope that he can, and if not, then we're still going to try and go in that style, that kind of cartoony villainy style. But
I love it.
yes.
Very cool. So what is that game about? Like what's the objective? Like how do you win?
So I said you're collecting these pages and you're putting in your book, and depending on how you arrange the pages, that will affect how many points you get for them. Because each villain likes to collect certain types of pages, like maybe they like basic stuff. and there's probably not a good picture of the pages in the work in progress thread, but the pages are gonna have like little anecdotes on how to be a villain. Like tell somebody you'll call them back, don't, or something.
Or don't. That is me. Like unintentionally, that is me. So I guess I'm a villain because I'm terrible at that. But that's hilarious.
Yeah, and
Hiya.
there's just different kind of villainous things. They'll say like promise to bake somebody their wedding cake and it'll be red velvet, but just use Splenda and use vanilla frosting instead of cream cheese. Like just
Rude. Rude. I love it. That's so rude. Please don't do that, people. But also hilarious.
So these pages are going in your book, and they're kind of categorized on type, and you want to get what yours the types that your villain wants to collect. Otherwise, you're going to have plagiarized pages in your book that you have to watch out for, and that'll negatively affect your score. And
that sounds like a bad thing. Also, I was like looking through here, like look at how cute these books are.
Yep,
these are like so cute. Where did you find these at?
Amazon. After like 2 hours of searching,
Amazon has everything. Everything. And then I feel like this is a pretty good clear of like how you slide the card in to make your little book.
Yep. Exactly.
This is a cool idea. So, and this was like the first game that you ever designed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
it's my first baby.
What made you want to design a game?
So, actually, my friend Noelle, I had 2 friends that I would regularly game with because we couldn't find anybody else that wanted to do board games. So we just got together to try and do games. And my friend Noelle, she one day was just like, you know what? I'm going to try and start making a board game. And I guess before that point, it never really occurred to me that somebody could make the board games. I just thought the store spit them out into the aisles and they existed.
Same. Didn't occur to me.
When she said that, I was just like, well, theoretically, if I made a board game, what would that look like? And that got me on the path of wanting to create a board game. And people always say that I look like I'm up to no good. So, of course, it had to be villains. I have a resting mischief face, and I can't help that.
Do you, like, have all, like, the mischief managed stuff?
No,
like, you should. You should, like, have a shirt that just has the Modder's map on it, says mischief managed.
Right.
And, like, have, like, the mug that when it gets warm, it, like, says mischief managed on it.
I've seen that. I've wanted that, but I'm innocent, even though I made a game about villains. So that's how that started.
It'll be even better if you get like a face mask. I saw like a Harry Potter one that as you were breathing, the Modder's map showed up. Oh, I hope you love Harry Potter as much as me. That's awesome. Great. But I was like, take all my money.
That is pretty impressive. Yes. I did not know that existed.
Yeah. Facebook ads. So targeted. After I talk about this now, it's going to show up.
Yeah.
Facebook. Okay. That's the cat is like, are you gonna make an appearance, kitty? Yep. Okay, no, that's a paper cutter. Like earlier she was like batting the chair and it was confusing me, and now she's on the table. No, okay.
I see her shadow.
Come here. Come say hello to the world. This is my baby.
Girl.
Ew.
Oh my gosh.
She loves to be held, so we'll just hold her for a little bit till Brian comes gets her. I love that I'm not the only person that was like, oh yeah, like I don't know how games show up, like they're just like there and I buy them from the store and it's great. Like no,
right.
There's like this whole culture and community.
There is
where people make them, and like I had no idea.
Yeah.
And what's even better is that like we had gone to Origins before like we had ever gotten into making our own games, and it still didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
That people make these. Like this is something that people do. Like how did I miss that?
Exactly. It's like I think before I started playing on my designing my game, I only had a few hobby games I was exposed to outside of like Monopoly and Risk. I played Catan and
Okay.
Sushi Go
Sushi Go's the best.
and Betrayal House on the Hill. Those three. That's it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then this started. So if you saw the
So
first
those
prototype,
three were like your gateway games.
yeah, they were my gateway games. And it showed because I didn't know how to do so many things. So like the first thing I emulated was Monopoly board. And I didn't understand why people kept saying it was Monopoly when it wasn't. And then as I kept iterating, I was like, I see now.
Like, I see what you're saying. That's not what I was going for. But I see how it happened.
Yep.
I love it.
That's all you know.
I want to ask people, everyone now, like, what is their gateway game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine was Sushi Go, Here, Kitty Kitty,
I love that one.
by Fireside Games, and then what was my other one? I won't lie, it's probably Animal Upon Animal. Because obviously I'm a child, but yeah, those are my go-tos.
That's awesome.
For the longest time. Okay, so then the next thing that you are working on, or I guess the next game that you started working on was Wicked and Wise?
Yes. Wicked
Okay.
and Wise. It's a 2v2 asymmetrical trick-taking game. And I created that so that you're working with a partner to try and win the game. Because I'm not huge on cooperative games, but I thought that I really enjoy partner games like Spades, and that the things that I'm not big on in cooperative games, I can punch up in a partnership game and still have the competition, but still depend on somebody to help me while I'm independently doing my role. So
I love that. I hadn't really thought about, like, there's not a whole lot of partnership games. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Using the parts that you love. Brian, will you come get the cat?
She's loving it.
She's so happy right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. She is loudly purring. So what was kind of the motivation behind Wicked and Wise, other than that you wanted a partnership game that you liked? Like, how did you come up with this?
I was writing an article for Girls Game Shelf about spades, and I was kind of analyzing that game because I found that. Do you know how spades plays?
I haven't played spades since like high school, and we're not going to talk about how long ago that was.
Well, like for me, spades was a game that I played growing up, and everybody in my high school knew it. All my family knew it, and it's actually a pretty complicated game. But whenever I got into hobby gaming, I never run into anybody playing spades. I mean, it's a classic card game, but people are playing board games. But I was just like, when you think about it, and you're explaining the rules to somebody who has never played spades, they give up because it seems so complicated. And I was just like, it has all the elements for the gamey games that we have in the hobby. But it's kind of just passed over because it's a classic game that you kind of learn as a kid or you don't. And so analyzing what made spades tick, and why it was so prevalent in kind of a mass market way, even though it wasn't like it wasn't utilized much in like the board game arena or in board game conventions. That was what sparked me to start thinking about cooperation and partnership, and like taking those elements that I like from spades and figuring out how to create a game that let me use the elements I liked. I mean, I like all elements of spades, but let me utilize those mechanics in spades and transfer it to something else. So
that's cool. Now, has this one been published, or like, what's your timeline on it?
This one's signed with Weird Giraffe Games, so it's also has a timeline for probably late 2021 or early 2022.
Yay! You're gonna have a very busy 2021.
Yeah, I'm
Potentially
looking forward to
2022.
it. Yes.
That's awesome. So are you working on anything else?
Yes.
You're so busy. I don't know how you find time.
It's really one project at a time, kind of, and they're just kind of chilling together. But because Wicked and Wise, I started maybe a year ago, but
Okay.
with the third game, Mansplaining, we started that maybe a month and a half ago. Mondo Davis, who is also an Atlanta designer, approached me about trying to co-design a game, and it was a party game. I was like, cool, I've never done a party game before. So we are working on a game called Mansplaining, and actually we're starting to pitch it now. So it's pretty fun.
Please tell me more about it, because the title, like, you got me hooked. I'm like, I need to know.
So
like, are you taking a topic and then you have to explain it to the other players in the most condescending way possible to earn the most points?
You have nailed it.
Oh, yes.
So what we have is there's going to be a player that's mansplaining. They pick a topic card, and the topic is always how to do blank. And then they pick 2 detail cards, and the detail cards are going to have random words on them. So let's say aardvark, astronaut, phenomenal, and menopause. Those.
It sounds like it'd be the most confusing thing ever, but I have friends that would like mansplain the bejesus out of that, and I'd be like,
yep, they have to. So let's say the topic they picked was how to tie your shoe. So they have 60 seconds to explain how to tie your shoe while trying to slip in those 4
aardvark, astronaut, phenomenal, and menopausal.
Yep.
So when you're menopausal, you call up your friend that's an astronaut aardvark and have him come over, and it might be a phenomenal because you probably haven't seen him in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes over, it's gonna be great, and then he's gonna tie your shoe for you. Like, okay.
But you can't.
I love this.
Yes, and the players that are listening, they have to guess what topic you're trying to explain. But they're also trying to pick out what BS words you slipped in there, and they get points off of that.
This sounds fantastic. Oh, it sounds so good. It'll be so funny to play. Oh, like I almost want to just be like an observer watching this game get played because I would die. I'd be like, It's
really fun because you have to start every explanation with, well, actually, and you have to end with, do you understand? So it's
I have fun. Coworkers that do that to me, and I'm always like, and I just like glare at them and walk away.
Yes.
I don't know if they notice. Most of them watch these, so they're all gonna be like, "Is it me? Like, is it you?" Could be you. I don't know. I love it. So, you guys are getting ready to pitch it. So you kind of have gone through your playtesting phase a little bit.
Yeah, we're playtesting. All the games are being playtested on Tabletop Simulator. So that's been a lifesaver. And I'm usually in Gil's group on Tuesdays and Saturdays, since those are the most convenient to me. It's East Coast, but it's the remote playtesting group, and they have a Discord server, and you could just join that and playtest. So.
How do you feel about playing, like playtesting and playing games through like Tabletop Simulator and all that stuff at the moment?
So thankfully, after the Protospill Online, I got like a crash course from Zach H. I'm just going to butcher his last name. It's Orchestra, so Zach H.
It's probably the best way to go with it, just like Zach H.
Gave me a crash course on Tabletop Simulator, and after that Protospill, I was able to make my own prototypes. And like it has been amazing for me. Because of the quarantine, I only have my boyfriend, which I can playtest, physical prototypes, but with Wicked and Wise, it requires exactly 4 players, so I can't playtest that.
Yeah, it's a little hard. A little hard with just two.
And with mansplaining, again, that's a party game, so I can't play test that. So
No,
tabletop,
you need more. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So tabletop simulator has really been ideal for me, because even if I could go out to actual face-to-face groups, Wicked and Wise was the hardest to get playtests for because of the exact player count. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just gathering those people, and they don't want to commit the time, or just all sorts of factors go into that. So it was very difficult to play test that, even when I would go to the events. But with the tabletop simulator, you get to sign up, and you're guaranteed to get your game played because other people need their games played. And then it's just been a really great environment, in my opinion.
That's awesome. So you have what are the words I'm looking for? So like you probably do you know the people every time that you're going to be playtesting with? Is it the same group? So it's always someone different.
Yeah.
Are you getting like helpful feedback, positive and negative on the game? That's cool.
It's because there are quite a few members. I want to say over 100, but I haven't counted.
Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of people.
But yeah, they just come in free form, and it happens like on Saturday. It's from 11 a.m. until like 6 p.m. So people just drift in, and then it could be people from other countries, people I would never meet in person because they wouldn't be in the southern convention circuit.
Yeah.
And so you're never quite sure who pops on, but you get
thank
repeat
goodness for
playtesters
the
and new
internet.
ones. Yeah.
Thank goodness. Like sometimes I think I'm like, how did we operate before the internet? Like I know I did it, but I didn't do it as an adult. But like, how did we do that? The internet's great. Like, how did we live without Google?
Yeah.
It's my jam.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it was like in our lifetimes that like we didn't have this.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my sister, totally off topic. Talking to my sister today, and my mom texted her the other day and was like, "Can you text me the phone number for Hungry Howie's?" And my sister's like, "You have the app." She's like, "I don't know how to use it." And my sister's like, "Can you Google it?" I'm at work. She's like, "I don't know how to Google." I love my mom so much.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cute? So
my
cute.
dad forced me to Google everything. He would know the answer, and he's like, "You can Google it." Like,
fantastic. Google's the best. I love it. So yeah, the internet's great. It allows you to play test during all this great stuff and meet people from all over the world and the country. Because you're right. Like otherwise, you probably wouldn't have met them. Like
it's like unless
we go to Origins and like PAX U sometimes. Like otherwise, I'm not gonna meet a lot of people. Yeah. So it's awesome. Sure. I love it. It brings people together.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. Because it's like the people I wouldn't meet unless I went to Essen Spiel or time zones are there's a lot of wiggle room between when you can socialize, and also it's just a lot of people that are in these tabletop simulator groups are also designers, so the feedback you get is like very, very critical and very helpful with like a designer's perspective for a lot of them.
Good.
So it's a very organized system.
That's awesome. And so you meet with them Tuesday and Saturday?
Yeah, Tuesday, Saturday, some Wednesdays, and the international one run by Chris Baki. That one's on Thursday, and that one they start like they're in England, so their start time is a little bit different, but they go for so long that regardless of your time zone, you're usually going to catch them. So
that's awesome. Brian just asked a question that I was like, ooh, I should ask this. So would you recommend everyone uses a WIP on BGG for all games? And then on top of this, can you explain to those of us who don't know what those are acronyms for?
Yes, I do recommend that everyone uses a work in progress thread for a Board Game Geek. So for me, I use it as a helpful way to keep a diary on the changes that I make in my mindset when I make decisions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I have a terrible memory, so I like to write very thorough notes. And whenever I find the time, I'll go to my work in progress thread and either I'll try and give a highlight of how a playtest went or how I felt about a certain convention I went to. So, like, was it good for designers? And what happened with my game when I tested this? What changes did I make? On the fly,
Mm-hmm.
and I try and keep pictures too. So it's just like a little scrap album for your game. And it's both really cool to look at whenever you're like further down in the process, but it's also just a good educational tool um, to kind of hone your own process and see how you circle back to different decisions, or how long you held on to a mechanic that just was not working and you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
why did I start that in the first place? So it's for me a really good echo chamber. And sometimes people might pop in and actually comment, like Book of Villainy. I got comments. The Wicked and Wise one, I think I got
Do
maybe
you
a
have?
handful.
I'm just like scrolling down, and there's a lot of people that have commented, and I love to see that you're commenting back to them, and
Mm,
like it really is kind of like a diary on how you're coming to your decisions. And I love the
yeah,
pictures of people playtesting it.
yeah. I definitely I think it's the most helpful to think of it as a diary rather than as a way to show off your game, because it is great to show off your game to potential people who may see it at a convention, but
Mm-hmm.
it can be easy to get demotivated on updating it if people don't comment. Because I went a very long time, I think, with Wicked and Wise. Maybe it's up to 25 posts and nobody
Mm-hmm.
will comment. Might not even get a thumbs up, so it's got to be more for you, and
Yeah.
hopefully later other people will see it. But it should be a tool that's for you, and that way, if people aren't commenting, that's okay. Um, just keep at it.
Oh, I love that because you can always go back and then, hello, Katie. I find that when I find something I love, I try to devour as much information about it. So like, and read as much about it. So like for me, if I were to find this, I'd be like, I have to read all the things. And then I'd be like, this is the best. I can see how they made it. So I think
Yeah.
it's really cool. Van asked, do you also do a designer diary thread within your game entries on Board Game Geek?
So I can't say that I have. I did one designer diary for Wicked and Wise. I was invited to do that, and I don't know how to do one just because I want to or anything. Um, but yeah, that's I was only able to do a designer diary because I was invited to, and I'm not sure how that process works otherwise, but I think that they're cool.
Yeah. Van says that Villagers was a great example of a successful WIP thread on BGG, and that he thinks that the WIP threads are great.
Nice.
I agree there, friend. So moving on. So you are involved with Girls Game Shelf, which is, if you don't know, friends, is an awesome community with lots of really supportive and awesome individuals, and you should go check it out. But tell us what you do with them.
So I just write some articles, usually from a game designer perspective, over games that I've played, like the one with the spades. So it might not be new games, but just new ways that I'm considering games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to kind of pick them apart, think through them, and why they shine to me, or stand out to me, or something that makes them special to me. Um, and I sometimes pop in for their streaming, and um, you might see me on other small posts, but mainly I'm a blogger for them, a writer.
That's really cool to be a blogger for somebody where you're just writing these really awesome articles that are influential. That's really cool.
Mm.
And I think it's awesome that you do that.
Oh, thank you. It's very fun. Anna Marie is the best.
She is. She's so sweet. She's how I met you.
Yes. Yes, that is
Which, I mean,
exactly true.
obviously, best decision ever made was introducing us. Obviously.
Obviously.
Right? So is the one from June 19th, is that your most recent article?
Yes.
So I was reading this and it definitely, like, I felt it. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay.
So for me, over the past month, I've had a lot of people ask about how they could be a good ally, or people that just didn't know what kind of action they could take. And for me, I kind of drew a blank until I really sat and thought about it, like what affected me the most when I that first year that I was in game design. And it was really hard because my friends, like the two that I game with, they're introverts and they won't necessarily go to all of the conventions. And when they do, they're not just hanging around my game. So often I was alone um, at the conventions, and I had to figure out
It makes
how
me
to get things
so
done.
sad. I'm so sorry that you were alone.
I'm trying to get better, but I know that that was like um, the biggest gap. And even going to my local gaming store, that was probably the harshest, of just kind of walking in there, and people don't necessarily know how to socialize, because we're a lot of us are introverts. I'm an introvert, and they're just kind of focused in on their game. But coming into a space like that, and being essentially ignored, um, is a really, really terrible feeling. And for me, I usually would wait things out to see, um, maybe I just need to wait. And then once they're done focusing on their game, they'll, hey, we're about to start up a new game. But a lot of times that didn't happen either, because they have their group, their little clique. So that's what kind of inspired the article. Is it's something that's free, it's something that everybody can do, but it is hard, because even for myself, I know that I'm so overwhelmed when I'm at a huge convention, that when I finally get people to play with, I'm just very, okay, this is my bubble, I'm happy with my bubble. And I've had people that would come and stand by the side, and I do try to look up and say hi, but I didn't know how to continue the conversation from then. But it's so important that you take that extra step, because that person's just as lost as you probably feel too. Um, and they're waiting for that invitation. So I know how easy it is to just accidentally be the barrier, whenever you're just trying to enjoy the game in that moment. But I think that people who did that to me, or for me, um, were how I stayed in gaming, and how I was able to flourish in gaming. Because I think my very first convention, it wasn't even a board game convention, it was an anime convention with a gaming room.
That's
And
awesome.
I brought Book of Villainy for the very first time, and I sat at a table completely unprepared. I didn't even, I think I had hand wrote a sign, put it on the table, and nobody came over. And I sat there for like hours, just looking around. And finally, one Atlanta designer, David Lupo, he came over and he was like, "Hey, I gotta get back to my table, but are you a designer?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh my gosh, that's great! You're a designer." And he was like, "You stay there, and after my game, we're gonna talk." And like after that, he invited me to all his gaming parties and introduced me to all the local like Atlanta designers that he knew, and he just threw me into the hobby. And because of him, that just started this web of um, connections and like love of the hobby that I hadn't even had before. And people like him, Julia Ahern, she was one of those people. She reached out when she playtested one of my games, and then she immediately introduced me to other people. Um, Carla Kopp. She is just like people like those who reached out and they were just a kind word, or would you like to sit down and play a game, or hey, I'm happy to see you. It's Rachel did that too, Blasky. So it's just like those moments are very precious. So that's why I read that.
I love the article, and I think in general as humans, we, even if you are an extrovert, like I'm an extrovert, and if I, like when we go to conventions, I like shut down. It's weird. I don't know why I do it. But even when I'm in a comfortable space, I think that most humans probably don't take the time to say hello to the other human that isn't necessarily part of the group. And if we all would just think a little bit more and be a little bit kinder, the world would be a better place. And you wouldn't have those people that are entering a new community feeling like they don't belong or aren't welcomed. I think that would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
I really do. I agree. Not that like the gaming community is bad at this. Like, like probably better than most communities at including everybody, but I mean, it still happens.
No, I agree, because I always tried to belong to something growing up, and I never quite fit anywhere until I got to the gaming hobby. So I agree, out of a lot of hobbies, it is definitely more inclusive. But just as far as making it easier, that barrier to entry for new people, and just even marginalized people, it's very crucial, I think, especially with people who don't have that high patience or tolerance for lack of socialization, or that one impression is the one impression you're going to get. I think that this is a very helpful way to give that everybody's welcome to my table and really include those people at the table.
Yeah, we have some really funny comments coming in. So Brian goes, I am an introvert, but I'm an extrovert at conventions. It slipped with Kara and I, and it's totally true. And then Katie, I like humans most of the time. And she is an extrovert all the time. And there's nothing wrong with you. And you're beautiful and perfect, just the way you are, Katie. And I love that you're an extrovert all the time.
Yes. Introverts need extroverts to adopt us. So
I think that's why like Brian and I work out, because in like normal life, I'm like, what? Let's go make friends with everybody. And then at conventions, I shut down, and he's like, friends. I'm like, okay.
Yes. See, that's the best extrovert.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody in your life that does that for you. That's so funny. So do you have any advice for people who are trying to break into the gaming industry as designers or content creators or whatever?
I would say if you're trying to break into the industry, just get involved. Like, you take your pace at making your game, but just finding some level in which you can get involved so people don't feel like strangers is going to be one of the most helpful things. Both whenever you are ready to make your prototypes, to get things play tested, but also to be a part of very important conversations, whether it's about new things in design, or just sharing ideas, or being at the table. I think that by me establishing small relationships within the community, that is what helped me make the biggest steps with my games.
I think that's really great advice, because you don't realize how helpful it is to make friends with some other people that are doing things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is a really friendly, welcoming community for the most part, and everyone wants to see everyone else succeed. So they're all there with your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Really,
and it's all those friends and all those people you talk to. They're the ones who send things your way that you might have missed in the sea of tweets. Like, hey, there's a board game contest going on. Oh man, I didn't know about that. That's how I got entered into a board game contest.
You're like, oh, I need to go do those things.
it's just, and there's so many ways you can actually engage. It's like, do you like Facebook? You can do it there, or do you like Twitter? That way, even just BGG. There's so many ways.
Oh, I don't know what happened, friends. I just lost Fertessa. I hope she comes back. I don't know if it was me. Well, that was fun. Like, I don't know what happened. So hopefully you all had a delightful time. Brian likes people in certain areas. Yes. He does not like people at the grocery store, like people in the aisle crowding. He doesn't like that. And Katie, all the introverts can come to you. And also sometimes extroverts. Oh, Katie, Brian told me that you spoke with our friend and you're going to go on a cruise with me. And we're just going to be extroverts all over that boat. It's going to be awesome. Oh, Fertessa's back. Hi. Oh, sorry. She's 1, 2, 3. There she is. Hi.
Hello.
I was like, okay. Brian says that you don't like me anymore. Rude.
That is a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. No, I can hear you. Like, I heard your video. I saw your video perfectly clearly. So I was like, I'm still here. What?
Like, I didn't. So if you've never been on like the person who's launching the Be Live side, like, so on my screen I see like our video, but then below that I see all the different screens that I can pop in and share. And you were like completely gone, and I was like. So we're going to talk about how Brian doesn't like people. Like, I don't know. I forgot what we were talking about.
I think just you can utilize social media, however, to interact with people, and there's so many options.
Right?
So, like, just even if you're the type that just wants to go to conventions and meet people, but. I think that it can suit your style, and if you just want to read rule books. People will love you.
I do not do any of that, and I have friends that do that and teach me how to play games, and I'm like, I love you, RJ. I know he's going to watch this later, so specifically, RJ, I love you. Yes. And Katie, we're definitely going to hold hands and skip through the promenade. Bam. All day, every day. That's awesome. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Do you have anything you want to plug before you leave me for the evening?
Definitely, if you haven't, check out Girls Game Shelf. I work with a team of lovely ladies, and that sounds like the Brady Bunch. The lovely ladies. We definitely put out a lot of cool articles and Twitch streaming recently. And
yes, you guys have been killing it with your Twitch streaming.
Yeah,
that's been awesome.
They've been doing really great with that, and I hope you check out my Board Game Geek work in progress threads. And I actually have a 4th game that I am working on. It's on the burner, but it does have a work in progress thread called Royal Favor. So check that out.
I'm gonna find it right now.
It's a game about royal dogs, a worker placement for royal dogs, because that's a thing. And did you know that the queen has a butler for every single one of her dogs?
No. Does she really? That's fantastic.
So I wanted to the players are playing as the butlers for their monarch, and they have to make their dog the monarch's favorite. So that is
fantastic.
Next in line.
People should check it out, because that's going to be adorable. And I can't wait to see all the cute puppy artwork.
Yes.
Because, that's how I roll.
Nope, that's how it is. Right? That's very gratifying.
Oh my gosh, she's like standing on me. So thank you. She's full. She's okay. Just full on staying on me right now. So thank you so so very much for hanging out with me. Friends, go on over, check out Girls Game Shelf, check out her work in progress pages, if I could talk. Check them out on Twitch. Yes, Katie, definitely check out their Twitch channel. It's awesome. And are we having we're having pet time. We should, instead of show and tell games, we should show and tell our pets. Oh my goodness, look at the floofs. Oh, it's the cutest little doggy face ever. Oh my gosh, I'm like dying right now. I love animals. She's waving. I love animals so much. Like, I think that's why Brian doesn't renew our zoo membership, because I just stand there and stare and ask if we can take everything home. I'm like dying over how cute your dog is. What's her or his name?
Her name, Bailey.
Bailey. Hi, Bailey. She just is giving me massive side eye right now. She's like,
I woke her up from her nap and she's like, get out of here.
I love it. I love it. That's a great way to end this. So we're gonna end it on that note. We've met Bailey. We've met Yuhora. Hopefully she's looking at the camera right now. Nope. So thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Please show Fertessa some love, and we will talk to you later. Facebook. Bye. Say bye, Yuhora.
Thank you for coming.
Say bye. Gonna say no, nothing.
Just eyes. Just eyes.
Just eyes.